Hi, welcome back to Classic Car Cave. So this is part 2 of servicing the E-Type or the XK engine. So unfortunately I made a mistake. These are the later model Jaguars that already have this conversion from the housing type filter or the canister style. And the problem with the canister style one is, if you're familiar with older cars, is they have 2 plates and a spring internally inside, and the lip is very fine on the metal casing, and what you have to do is actually hold it in place and screw the bolt that goes all the way through into it, and you have to keep this in place. You can't just keep turning it because it could go up and down like this. So the spin-on ones are much better. So I went down, I gave them the number. This is the equivalent of it, which is MAN. It's not a Jaguar one, but it doesn't matter. And what I'll do now is I'll pop this on. So I've checked that the seal is the same. And if you look here, I don't want to make a mess, but if you look here, you can see they're exactly the same. So as long as that thread is good, which I've tried on the vehicle, of course, and that seal area is correct, it's perfect. So what I'm going to do now is just put a little bit of oil. Again, I don't want to teach anybody to suck eggs here, but for people who are watching in the first time or are not familiar with servicing or whatever, or mechanical, these are just little tips that might help out. To most of the people who've watched my videos, it won't, because they've been doing this for years. So when you go to put this on, never put them on dry. Put them on with a little smear of oil on it, but always use the fresh oil. Simple reason, I've seen people do it, dipping their finger on the old oil and putting it on, and you could pick up bits of swarf or dirt, and what you want is a perfect seal. And you don't need much, just a little drip on the finger, you know, it's plenty. And just give it a little dab here. As simple as that. You don't need to take the ring out and do the bottom bit. It's just as you turn it onto the face, it's a little bit easier to turn. So what I'll do now is I'll just pop it on and we're ready to go. And that's it. You only need to be put on hand tight, because what will happen as the pressure increases, it'll pull it on anyway. You want to be hand tight, you shouldn't over tight it, and you shouldn't put it on with a tool. If you do that, you could strip the thread. So hand tight, just a little hand tight, should be enough, because you will need a tool to take it off the other side. So now what I can do is I can drop the car down. Sorry, I'm going to do the rear diff first. Then I'll drop the car down, I'll start filling it with oil, and I'll also check the gearbox, which I'll show you inside the car, which you can do internally. See, I've got the diff plug out there. Just show you, so you can see it, buddy. See the diff. Sorry, I will be in your way. The problem with these is they're like a square plug, and they're an absolute bastard to get to because of the IRS, the independent rear suspension, and the cage. So you kind of have to kind of play around with it a little bit. So what I've done is I've used this, which is what they call a crow's foot, and that allows you to get in there a little bit easier with that crow's foot, but you still have to turn because of the sizing. These are in millimeters. You have to get it so tight, and then you have to use a 14mm or 9/16 spanner to get on. Because of the squares, it won't go over with a crow's foot, because I don't have AF crow's feet, I only have metric ones. Okay, so like I said, this flap that comes up here. It just normally sits down below the seat like that. It's got a little press stud on it, and you just basically pop that up. There we go, lift that up, and then you see this big rubber grommet here. You just take that out, and there is your gearbox leveled. Nice little idea, because otherwise you'd have to keep taking the shield off. Okay, just one other thing you might notice here with the E-Type. You might notice, obviously, there is rubbers on the pedals, but nothing on, there's just metal on the accelerator. The reason for that is your foot needs to be able to slide down the metal one, so it's more slippery. I know it sounds a bit weird, but if you put rubber on it, it kind of holds your foot up in the air. So they actually came as just a metal one like that, and you can see actually I've even put locking wire around it, which I don't think they came with that, but I put it in anyway. Okay, so these are the number plates. So obviously that's the front one. You can see it's much whiter, and obviously this is where the exhaust has been coming on. It's a little bit darker, and this is the registration book itself. It says E-Type Jaguar 66 blah blah. I got all the details, and then FF Jag 1. But these plates I can use up to 3 cars. So they have a really good system in Austria. I've said it before, but I'll just go over it. Is you can have up to 3 cars on one plate. It will work on the highest horsepower. But what it means in theory is you could drive your white van during the week, or whatever, your work vehicle, and then you could take them off the vehicle, take it off the road, it has to be off the public highway, and slip them into your Ford RS 2000 Escort or your E-Type or your whatever. So you can use the same plates. Obviously you can't have both cars on the road at once. So the ideal situation is now they obviously have to stay in Austria because they're Steiermark where I live, and I can put the same registration on here because it is a 150, so Jag 1 for 150. The only difference is the back plate has to be square, so I have to have that made specially because these long plates won't work. But it also means I can put them on the XJ6. I won't put them on this year because I'm going to use the original plates that are on it from Martin, my neighbour, and next year if I decide to spend the money and the time and completely restore it, I can put these plates on it, and it's a Jag Series 1 XJ6, so perfect scenario. When I bought these plates, they were 90 euros. I think they're now around 110 euros. So you can have, there is a limit to what you can have, and the FF doesn't count anymore because this stood for Fürstenfeld, and now they're HF because two towns have merged, so it's Hartberg and Fürstenfeld. But you could have Dave 1 or whatever you wanted, up to so many letters and so many letters and so many numbers. But I think putting your name on is a bit poncy, but I like the idea of Jag or Far Swan like it's on the Mini. But anyway, yeah, so that's the story with them. And I know people say that plates like this, if you could get Jag 1 in the UK, it'd be worth thousands. Probably would be. Anyway, so I'll put them on the back and I'll show you how it works. Simple cases, you just make sure these lugs are down here, here and here. What you do is you just push the plate up inside into the top lugs. Get a little bit of a bend, and then you push a little tab up here, a little tab up there. But I need to now get it screwed up just to push it up because it's a bit thick this. But there's the tab there, and you can see it can't come out. Simple, nice little idea. Works well. You can just move it from car to car. There we go. You can see quite clearly there's oil coming out of there, so the gearbox is good. What you do not want to be doing is dropping the plug down inside there because it will fall onto the heat shield, which it just did, and I've spent the last 10 minutes trying to fish it out, but there you go. So yeah, just be careful. I got it so far. What I should have done was put a big magnet on it and pulled it out with an extension, possibly put it even back the same way. But there you go, another little tip if you're doing E-types. Okay, just one more tip. If you've got anything like this on these older cars, even the newer ones, use a new crush washer each time, the copper washer. It's meant to crush, that's the whole point, is it's meant to spread out. But put a new one in each time, because if you put the original one back in, it's already crushed, it's got no pre-tension in it, and you'll have issues, either leaks or the nut backing out. So everything's dry, checked everything. A little bit of oil ran onto that heat shield, put the front number plate on now. And you can see there's the little clips. You can just see them there. You just shove them up. And it holds the plate in place. See there? Same on the back. Lost a tiny couple of drips out of the gearbox. Again, you can see here and here, see the black thing sticking up. A couple of little drips out of the gearbox when I lost the level bung plug and had to chase it for 10 minutes or so. But apart from that, spot on. So I'll leave it for 10 or 15 minutes. I can see how much it's gone down already into the filter. So I'll fill it up, level it off, just let it cool down. But it takes quite a long time with these. With the double overhead cam, you know, you're putting all the oil in through one side on the exhaust side. So, you know, there's plenty of galleries, but it does take a while for it to go down. And obviously the colder it is, the more viscous the oil is. Anyway, so it's run, the oil pressure's looking good. I just need to top it back up now. And I'll leave the cap off there. So, yeah, leave the cap off and that way it won't cause a vacuum or anything on it. It'll go down quicker. So on that note, as usual, stay safe, keep the faith, enjoy your hobby. And I'll catch you in the next one. I'll try and do it tomorrow if the weather's good. And I'll take you out for a drive in it so you can hear it. I might use my GoPro 10. Then I won't have to hold the thing, the camera. Anyway, take care guys, bye.